Good morning. Today I just want to drop a quick note about our best selves, being our best selves. So we don't have to live with our estranged children and spend time around them, but we do have to live with ourselves. Whatever we put out into the world, we eventually will get back. So if we are thinking terrible thoughts about the estranged kids, we're probably going to speak terrible things about them. And I understand that it hurts. I get that it hurts. But it hurts more after the words come out of your mouth about your estranged kids that are terrible. It hurts more when you gossip about them. It hurts more when you call them terrible names. It hurts more when, you're just filled with rage inside because you're hurt, and then you let it loose. That's even worse because, it feels good in the moment maybe, and some people say, "Oh, I'm just venting." You can vent without hating, and you can vent without thinking terrible things about people and without speaking terrible things about them as well. So just keep that in mind. You got to live with you. And in the moment, if you release a spew of nastiness, like I said, it feels good at the moment, but you have a conscience. And eventually that's going to catch up with you, and you're not going to feel very good about it if you love your estranged kids and grandkids. So love means that, yes, when they hurt you, it hurts. It hurts a whole lot because they're not strangers, I get it. There's a lot of pain involved. But if you truly love them for who they are and what they are and all that kind of stuff, if you love them unconditionally and without limits, etc., then you're going to be really careful how you think about, how you speak about, how you write about those kids. And the other part is that, believe it or not, it's okay if you don't believe this, but there are vibes. I don't know how else to call them, but there are vibes that people give off. You notice it. Like if there's someone who's not getting along with you and they walk into a room, you can kind of feel that energy. You can. Versus if you go to your best friend's house and you walk in and she's got that love for you, you feel that too. You feel welcomed and warmed and things like that without her saying a word or him saying a word. You also know, like, if you walk into your house and someone's upset about something, you can pick it up. So our estranged kids can pick that up too. And cat's got to get out of my way so I don't run him over. There you go. Our estranged kids can pick that up too. Even if we're not in the same room with them, even if we're not in the same state as them. The vibes we give off toward people, they can pick it up. You can't have good vibes about somebody unless you're thinking well about them. You can't have good vibes about somebody if you're speaking ill about them. And then especially if you're speaking ill to other people about them, then guess what? Those people are going to have bad vibes toward them as well. So, be the change that you want in the world. If you think this world is full of dookie, don't add to it. Consider what you're thinking about. Because whatever you're thinking about, whatever your thoughts are about whoever, is how you're going to speak about them. And then, be careful what you speak about them, because it's going to cycle back to what you think about them, and it's going to spread like ripples to how other people view them. So when you come to the group, I understand when you want to vent, and I understand that these kids really know how to push our buttons because we put them there. I get that. But in your everyday life, be careful about that. You, even though they have hurt you and you're hurting, even though you're hurting, you still can have good thoughts about them. If I were to give you $1 million for you to list out 5 good traits about them, you probably could do it. How about 10? How about 20? There are good things and bad things. It just depends on what we focus on. And love is not going to continue to think about the terrible things over and over and over again. It's one thing to vent. It's one thing to journal. It's one thing if, you've been going along and then, there's something that catches you off guard and you have to process those emotions again. But it's another thing to tell your story over and over and over and over and over again, and to believe whatever your story is over and over and over again without looking at any part that you may have in this story. So perhaps you were totally innocent when it happened, and that really gets to you because you can't figure out what you did. But what are you doing now? And how are you handling your thoughts and words right now? Because that's going to determine how long you are in pain. We can't predict the outcomes. We can't predict reconciliation. We can't guarantee anything. But we can predict healing. We can predict the end of pain and the lessening of pain by how we respond to what's going on. That's what we can predict. And our kids, our estranged kids, our family members are not responsible for our happiness. They're not responsible for our lives being in order and shape. We are. So let's work on where we have control. And really give it some thought. That's all I got to say about that.